So I've encountered a part of the row where there's quite heavy weed pressure. As you're going down the rows, different parts of it will have more or less weeds. Right now I've encountered a good batch of weeds, and I want to take a break and introduce you to some of the weeds and wildflowers and grasses and whatever you want to call them, but they are the plants that I am removing from my row of first-year grapevines because I think it is better for the plant not to have to compete against some vegetation that can become quite dominating, and so that's why I'm going through here and weeding. So I can introduce you to some of these plants, and others I don't really know the name of, so but I'll show you the different ones that are here right now. So one of the common one is the dandelion. That's the rosette. It doesn't have the stem and the flower yet, so I'm getting it early. Easier to pull out now because it's not full grown. If you don't get the full taproot, the dandelion will come back. So I go down with my finger a bit, make sure and then I've got it like that when I'm pulling it. My fingers are like that. I've got this. Here's one plant that I'm not really sure what it is. One weed. It's not too plentiful, so I haven't got the name, but I'm going to. I'm wondering if it's alfalfa. It's got a taproot. It's got a rosette. They call that the habit. What grows at the base of a plant, and the habit for this type of weed is where it grows all these little leaves off the bottom. That's pretty good for identifying it. Then it's got a lot of these seed-like things, which makes me think it's a legume of some sort. So I'm saying it's alfalfa. Someone can correct me on that. Here we have pigweed, I call it. If you look in some of the weed books, that's what they'll call it. I think there's probably a better, more exact name for it, but we'll call it that. That's actually two plants, so that type of plant, I'm not sure exactly. It could be quackgrass or just orchard grass of some sort. That's the pigweed there. He has a kind of a taproot, but also a kind of a spreading root. And then we have this, where do we have, oh, we've got a nice little thistle over here. Got to grab him low and I pull it out, and it's got a taproot, so a nice prickly thistle. Ordinarily it hurts even through the gloves to pick something like that, but if you grab it low you might stand a chance of not getting prickles in your fingers. We also have over here, got some plantain. It grows these little heads coming off. It's a broadleaf plant, which means it has a habit of just covering the ground as opposed to occupying a lot of space in the vertical direction. For that reason, it's actually a fairly nice plant, a good ground cover. And if the plants weren't as young as they were, maybe I'll just leave this there. I don't have a problem with plantain, but it's gone. Now we also have various types of grasses, timothy, like I said, alfalfa, clover, red clover, orchard grass, some reed grass, quack grass, and so on. Different ones I don't know the names of. We have vetch growing here, hairy vetch, and it goes in and it has a taproot like that just goes underneath the ground and throws off shoots of hairy vetch, and that's a type of pea. It's a good nitrogen fixer, not a bad plant under a lot of circumstances, but if this thing grows in a colony, it'll occupy everything and be up about that high. So obviously could take over on the grape plant. There's a flower from the hairy vetch. That's what it looks like. Kind of a nice little plant. And I picked, what else? We've got this this type of plant, and I should know what it is. It has kind of a milky stem to it. It'll grow big, and it can spread pretty quick, this one, so I don't like having this one around much. And we also have Speedwells in the ground. I'm not sure if I have an example of a Speedwell here. I have one over here, a creeping Speedwell, and it looks like that. I get a little bit of bindweed here, and bindweed will put down roots almost, it looks like, along the surface off the ground like that, and then it'll sink, put sinkers in, so when you grab it, it's hard to get rid of because you got to kind of grab it all over the place and get rid of it all over the place. What I sometimes do in that situation, if I have it, if it's matured into the ground, I'll run a whippersnipper sideways and just kind of beat the ground like that, and that'll remove the surface part of it anyway. So there's a lot more weeds and plants in here than I'm naming, but that gives you an idea of the types of plants I'm encountering as I'm weeding here.